Hi guys, and welcome to your notes for today. We're going to be creating a foldable. You need to grab a piece of paper, fold it in half like a hot dog. We're going to make sure that we have 8 equal sections on this foldable. So once you have it folded like a hot dog, you're going to fold it in half again. And then you're going to take it and fold it in half again. And for one last time, you'll fold it in half. Now, folding it this many times and making sure that it's nice and creased is going to provide those 8 sections that we need in order to discuss our different types of chemical reactions and the evidences that they have. All right, guys, now from the foldable that we just created, and you made the 8 different sections, you're going to go ahead and label your sections with the acronym that's going to help us remember how to determine if a chemical reaction has occurred. So the acronym is please excuse coughs, sneezes, burps, or light chunks. Each of the capital letters is going to represent a type of chemical reaction piece of evidence. So these are our evidences of chemical reactions, and we know if one of these has occurred, so has a chemical reaction. Now I've already created the foldable. So we're going to go inside the foldable, and I'm going to walk you through each of the notes as you can write them down. Our first piece of chemical evidence is represented by the P for precipitate. The precipitate occurs when 2 liquids combine to form a solid. We'll put examples of these on the back of your foldable. But for right now, make sure that you have a precipitate and you know that it is when 2 liquids combine to form a solid. Your next capital letter was E for excuse. This is going to be represented by endothermic and exothermic. Your endothermic reaction means that the heat is going to stay inside, so your object will feel cold. Exothermic is just the opposite. Exo, exit. Heat is released and the object will feel hot. Endothermic and exothermic are an evidence of a chemical reaction that has occurred. Going to our next one, which is the chemical color change. Please excuse coughs. So this one would be coughs. A chemical color change is when 2 chemicals combine and a new color is created. Now this color change is going to be unexpected, and I want you to go ahead and add that to your notes, that this is an unexpected color change. So it's not like if I mix red dye in water, I expect my water to be red. This is when I mix 2 clear chemicals and they turn purple. It's unexpected. Your next piece of evidence, please excuse coughs, sneezes. Sneezes is represented by smell or odor. This is one way we know a chemical reaction has occurred, is when chemicals react and give off an odor or a smell. We're going to do a really good example of this one on the back, and I think you all will understand smell or odor when we get to that example. Our next example is going to be bubbles or gas. Bubbles and gas can be produced when 2 chemicals combine and bubbles will form, or a gas is going to be present when those 2 chemicals combine. So make sure that you have when 2 chemicals combine and bubbles are produced or a gas is present. So please excuse coughs, sneezes, burps, or it's going to be our oxidation. Oxidation is a really, really big word for science, but in real terms, it only means rust. So when iron, oxygen, and the chemical formula, water, combine to form a new substance, we call it rust. We see things rust every day. So make sure that you understand oxidation is rusting. Please excuse coughs, sneezes, burps, or light. Light is light. So when two or more chemicals combine to produce or give off light. There are a lot of examples for this one, but we're going to talk about one of my favorites on the back. So make sure you have light as a type of evidence of a chemical reaction. And our last piece of evidence that a chemical reaction has occurred is when we have combustion. Combustion is just another big word for fire. And this is going to be when heat produces a chemical reaction and a new substance is formed or created. So let's look at our examples for these. You can take your paper, and I'm just going to flip it over to the back. And I'm going to kind of just leave this here so we can see which one it's talking about. So when we look at the P for please precipitate, my example was when milk spoils. So whenever we have milk spoiling, that's a type of precipitate. Your example for endothermic, exothermic is a pocket hand warmer. Pocket hand warmers are little bags that you can put inside of your pockets, and when you shake them up, they will heat up. So you're mixing two chemicals together and it's producing heat. The C for coughs. When we have two clear liquids and they combine, and it automatically will turn blue. That is a unexpected color change. The S for sneezes or smell. When we are smelling something, we know a chemical reaction has occurred. Our example is baking a cake. The B for burps is a very simple one. After drinking soda, sometimes you will burp. That's the bubbles from the soda producing a gas inside of your body and the gas being released. Remember, the O was or for oxidation or rust. We know old bikes or cars can rust, so this is our example of rusting, oxidation. Our light for light chunks, we have glow sticks. When you have a glow stick, you can crack it in half and shake it up and it will produce light. Chunks is your fireworks. Fireworks are like fire, your combustion. So chunks was combustion and our example is fireworks. Make sure you take a picture and upload your notes to Canvas.